No, this is Dogcesy. So today I'll be talking about my opinions about the current standard banner of Angelina and Magallan. Before I start, I should also like to bring attention to the current web event for the anniversary for the second anniversary of Arknights. So yeah, go and participate in it if you can as well. I won't be making a video talking about it because a lot of creators have already done so, and I'm already very late to the party. As I was busy with school this past week. Sorry, Mike. Yeah, I was very busy with school this past week. Since school started this week for me, so yeah, something I guess. So sorry about the sparse upload as well, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I haven't uploaded much at all. It's only like one video per day stuff like that. But anyway, oh, just a plan. It's fine. That's fine. I don't have any issues. That's fine. I guess it wasn't sparse at all. So I already had videos. I already had videos scheduled. That's fine. Disregard it. Yeah. Think about the event yet? Go and do it. I've already done so today, but I think they kicked me out already. Okay, sure. I guess I'll do something about it. I guess, but they kicked me out already. I'll log in some other time. But yeah, I've already done everything, including the interviews. Yeah, the second interview, Mizuki's one is out already, in case I don't know. And the other one will be up in 5 hours, 6 hours time from when I'm recording this. So it's probably be out by the time I upload it, the third one. So go check it out, I guess. So yeah, I'll go talk about them. Angelina, Magallan, Texas, Asbestos, as well as Iris. So the five featured operators. I have Suzuan and Zima pull up, as I'll be comparing stuff like that. Because I have to state that I do not have much experience with all five of the operators, to be outright honest. So majority of what I'll be saying for four of them actually, all but Texas, since I've used quite a fair amount. All but Texas, all of them will be based on what I've heard from like other creators talk about them, as well as what my friends personally told me about their experience with them, or based on what I've experienced using like fan supports of them. So just a bit disclaimer out there. I do not own like a lot of them. I do not own Angelina and Iris, and I have not used Magallan much at all. I only used her like twice so far, and both of them both times were with skill 1, which is yeah, but okay, yeah. And then like even Texas, I have not really used her much nowadays, since I'm currently trust farming Elysium. I've also yeah, I've actually don't actually to be honest, I don't remember when I got Escusia. I have Escusia. I don't even remember when I got her to be honest. I just found her easier recently when I was looking through my operators. So I decided to build Elysium in preparation for when I build Escusia up. Since right now I'm still transforming my Ash. She's at 192, I believe. Was it? I can't remember. Well, he's like very high trust already, so I'm more or less gonna be moving on to Escusia soon already. So yeah, I haven't really used Texas much nowadays because I'm transforming as Elysium. Yeah, I guess I'll talk about Angelina first. No, she's a slow supporter, and generally, I can't see how you're going to generally use it to be because each of her three skills serve a different purpose. So it's kind of like she has her own each of them serve their own niche per se, so I can't really say much about stuff like that at all. So it will be depending. So yeah, I guess I'll talk about talent first. Her first talent increases all allies attack speed. Yeah, and then her second talent, when a skill is not active, she'll recover 20 HP. She'll give like a passive HP regen of 20 and 25 at pot 3 and above. I'm not too sure, but actually I have also heard a rumor about her talent 1 breaking stuff when max pot, supposedly from what I've heard. It's like it causes really to attack too fast, causing other operators to die because they're using Reedy's like push force from their attack to stagger the enemy to prevent the enemy from attacking apparently. So actually did cause some stuff, but I'm not too sure to be honest. since it's supposed to happen during CC, but I wasn't really much invested in CC until until CC4, even though I've played since like CC2 or since CC2 apparently. Have I? Actually don't remember where I started. I don't remember, but I really wasn't really much interested in CC for a long time, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, what else was I talking about? Yeah, so yeah, that's something. I'm not sure how true the rumors is. Because even when I talk to my friends about it, they also like mention it in passing. Like they've heard about it but they don't know the specific details either as well. So you guys can maybe find a video about it, maybe link it in the comments maybe. I'll go check it out then I guess. Yeah, that's something I guess. You mentioned about the second talent. It's considered passive regen, same as Perfumer's talent. It would actually like heal amenities operators as well as drones if I'm not wrong. So yeah. I'll talk about skill 2 first, shall we? Or skill 1 is kind of like how I say, the weaker one, the more niche one out of the two. So skill 1 will be used if you want to like perm perma slow and perma slow a single target. So I have heard my friends that they generally don't use skill 2 that often. Because they want the perma slows like someone, because it's single target, so generally it will be a boss case. They will just use Suzerain, skill 3. Because not only will it perma slow the single enemy, but you also set it up, increasing helping their talent, increasing their talents, which is weakening effect, as well as even healing your operators. So that's something I've heard my friends talk about. That if they want to permanently slow down one enemy, because it's like the boss, the permanently slow down the boss, they'll generally be using Suzuran skill 3 instead of Angelina skill 2. At least those that own both of them. Which I guess it's valid, I guess, but the difference is the fact that Suzuran has a very long cooldown time. A very long cooldown. 70 seconds. Yeah, the way actually it's less than 70 because of a talent, but yeah, but to wait a very long time between each activation of a skill. Whereas Angelina, there is no such case. So the fact that Angelina actually does decent damage. Also, how much the attack interval is reduced, and though the blast damage is reduced, he actually does good enough damage. Does considerable amount of damage. Because I have heard of my friends using Angelina skill 2 as like a solo caster for IS. Because he was very unlucky with like the vouchers. Couldn't really get one for caster, but could get those for like specialists. Those for specialists. He actually used he not she. He actually used her as a solo caster with skill 2 active. So that's something I guess. But yeah. So skill 2 be used if you want to like slow down single enemy. Which is actually very useful for bosses. Yeah. What was it? Oh yeah, talking about the blocking situations. Slowing is actually very good for stalling, especially against certain bosses where blocking them may be hard, or even just basic enemies. For example, like the bullies, which actually requires operators 3 or more block to block them. If you're actually slowing them down permanently, they will pretty much stay within a single tile for the most part. Because of that, it's really not a block. That's the whole purpose of you blocking enemies, is to hold them in like a certain fixed position for your operators to do damage. Which Angelina skill 2 can also serve the purpose to a certain extent. The enemies will still be moving, but the more they move is considerably low enough. So if you can kill the enemies within the skill duration, they generally should remain in like around a fixed area constantly. So yeah, that is based on videos I've seen and what my friends told me about the experience with her. I said I don't know her, and for some reason all my friends supports have her on skill 3 and not on skill 2. So I have no experience with skill 2 or skill 1 at all. So yeah, that's something that I should take note of. Yeah. So yeah. Skill 3. A skill that is compared to Suzerain's skill 2 from what I've known. That's from what I've heard. So yeah. Since actually both of them is multi-target slow. Yeah. So so same thing as there's the same comparison between both of them. Same thing. Angelina is more for like quick burst, constant burst this wave, burst that wave, burst the third wave, stuff like that. Whereas Suzerain skill 2 it's more for like long term have a very continuous a very long continuous one that usually will not be active for like the first 1.5 or one to two waves because of how long the wind up time is for you to actually get the skill going. But once it's up there, it's infinite duration. Whereas Angelina, you have to let's say activate it. You have to time the activation. Especially, I actually never talk about it. She's especially bad for her because of the fact that she does not attack whenever her skill is not active. So that's the big difference I get. That's the kind of difference. This one is more of like AFK, at least until you get the skill up. Whereas Angelina you have to consider it, but Angelina is stronger. Okay, but she does gain the increased range and even higher attack, 105 at rank 7 compared to Suzhuang's 30 at rank 7. While also targeting more. So yeah, that's kind of what you do use her for. Multi-target slow. I don't know her talk about I actually don't know. Oh yeah, I have seen videos of her actually using the kill drones because of the fact of how many enemies she will target all at once. It did not matter about like even like the ground enemies taking up some of them because generally she still have enough like targets options, not like enough target options to actually target the drones as well. Just actually I've seen people use her to like clear out drones as well. So that's something I guess. But yeah, I can't really say much about her. The videos I'm going to be much opinion mixing because I don't own her. Yeah. Yeah, actually has a very strong opinion of Angelina. She has been very useful from all the times I've used her, except for that one time. For the diary, the Twilight Watermelon diary. Is it? I don't know. No, Susan was wait. I can't remember about it. Anyway, no, I think I used her over Susan actually. Oh shit. Yeah, all over the place. But part and parcel of me, right? Being all over the place. Especially since I still have not figured out how to edit. But yeah. So that's kind of it. Multi-target, perma single target, and then the skill one is more hard from what I know. It's more for like AFK threats. Or for some reason you want her to be attacking continuously. I guess like yeah, I guess for like certain state for like maybe in the early game of IS, from what I've heard of my friends, they tend to use her skill one over any of other skills, really because of how limited your operators are. So your damage will actually be quite limited. So having her attack continuously was actually useful for them, especially since the enemies are generally weak enough in like the lower levels of IS, where the the damage from skill 2 or like niche from skill 2 and skill 3 will not be needed and they needed the damage more. So let's say skill 1 is kind of like what you do for continuous damage. I guess if you want to put it I guess how I want to put like I'm really not sure whether what I want to convey is being conveyed to you guys or not, but what is the gist of it, I guess. Alright, I'll talk about Magallan next time. I guess I'll move on to. Okay. So Magallan, also known as Rombi's favorite operator. Yeah, I really haven't used so much. And you get some water, don't mind me. I've been talking for 15 minutes after. Magallan, yeah. Rombi's favorite operator. I haven't really so much since I've only gotten her recently. It's January right now, right? Yeah. I've had her for like 2 months ish only, I guess to be honest. Yeah. She came up in recruitment like around my birthday to be honest, like around my birthday. Yeah. I don't know, like as if so she was kind of like my birthday present per se from Arknights, giving me a operator tag in recruitment. Yeah, I actually don't even know how Arknights know that because I'm pretty sure Arknights didn't ask. It's not our other gacha games where they ask for your birthday. They're usually like a birthday celebration, doing a birthday stuff like that, a birthday celebration event stuff like that, mini event for it. But cause Arknights don't have, so I'm not exactly sure how. I'm not sure. Pretty sure it's just a coincidence, but yeah, I got Magallan on my birthday. It's like a birthday present from Arknights from last year. Yeah. Now talk about Magallan. Whenever when she's deployed, can hold up to 5 drones, but you can only deploy up to 3 at any point of time. Yeah. And then her second talent give the drones invisibility. I'm pretty sure it's called in game. I can't check because my Magallan is E0 right now. I've been focusing on building scene since I was only partially also building scene up when I got Magallan. So must well finish scene first if I do anything else. I'm actually still not sure that I want to E2 scene or not, to be honest. This scene is actually doing reasonably well enough. At just E1, so I'm not too sure now the E2 scene first though, but yeah. Yeah. She will gain invisibility, which means that the drones cannot be targeted by enemies, nor can they be damaged by splash damage, I'm pretty sure. So it's different from camouflage. In camouflage, you can still be damaged by splash attacks from what I've heard. I'm not sure I can say. I haven't used so much. I've only used her like a couple of times. Let's see. Let's see. Uh, yeah, I really haven't used so much at all. I'll use her like twice by myself, and then once during the TWS tribulation stage, I believe. Maybe it was TWS2, the tribulation stage. That's like the third time I used Magallan. I really haven't used Magallan much, so I can't be saying much again. So everything I'll be saying is based on stuff, yeah, based on what I've heard from other creators and my friends. So yeah, skill 1. Magellan and her drones inflict slow to all enemies within attack range every 0.9 seconds for 0.9 seconds every 3 seconds. This is actually quite decent, and I believe it's increased by to 1 second at M3. Yep. I mean, the slow is generally not as good as like a slow supporter. Also, of course, they are better attack speed, attack interval. Yeah, and the slow. How long is the slow for actually? It's 80%. I don't know how long, but yeah, it generally may not be good for single target. But the thing is, for Magellan, there is no hard target cap. You affect all enemies equally within her and the drone range. That is the big difference. It may be like there may be less. The slow may have less uptime, but it's better in the fact that there's no hard cap limit. And when the skill is active, slow is instead changed to that of a bind. So you're binding the enemies for 2.2 seconds every 3 seconds, which is very good. Don't need to mention how good it is. Basically, it's preventing them from moving. You're keeping them in their one spot. So if you want to like how to say crowd control, I guess that's what I would say. Is the term I'll be using. If you want to like crowd control, her skill 1 is what you're going to use her for. Crowd control, keep the enemies within check while you're doing the damage to thin out the horde or wave or whatever I want to call it. Yeah. It's not very high. It's gonna be a very situational use, but I have seen people use the skill 1 in stuff like CC and stuff like that. Yeah. But not really high priority. I should talk. Yeah. This is the range that the drone will have with skill 1. And then skill 2, which is a skill I actually I rarely ever seen anyone use it, to be honest, since it's in most cases, like 99% of cases, it's overshadowed by a skill tree. But I have seen people use it. If you want the arts damage, what's the skill does arts damage, whereas skill tree does physical. So yeah, the only reason why I've heard a lot of people, the reason why I've heard about the why a lot of people don't like her skill 2 is how limited the drone range is. It's limited to the tile of the drone itself. But if you can plan around it, like maybe having a defender behind to block to keep the enemies within the range of the drone actually does surprisingly high damage. One attack interval, 1 second attack interval with 444 arts damage. If you can actually do that, it's actually very high. So the fact that when the skill active, the damage is increased even further while also doing splash attack, while doing splash damage. So yeah, so I don't really see a lot of people, but I can see a use for it. Yeah, the damage is actually very high. So, but yeah, this is from what I know, this is her least used skill. I'm not too sure. I would play around with it when I E1 her, I guess, but that one is quite far away from now. So I'm still building up. I'm still transferring my first, as well as deep color. I also recently E1 my deep color. But suppose she's very good in the interlocking competition. What do you know? And I'm not even using her. And I'm not even using her for any of the garrison stages. E1 max deep color cannot solo the first garrison stage. That's fine. Like, it's fine, I guess. To be honest, I still cleared it, so it doesn't matter. And I guess she's more ready for IS when the time comes. So I'm not that upset, to be honest. But yeah. Yeah. I'll talk about skill tree. Supposedly her bread and butter skill, because this is pretty much all I've seen people use it for. So yeah, if you want to see like, this is pretty much all I see. Yeah, all the showcase for Magallan is all skill 3. You rarely see any showcase for skill 1 or skill 2. But there is actually a very good reason for it. The skill 3 is the reason why she's known as the queen of soloing. At least that's what I've heard. I've seen a lot of people use her to solo like multiple different stages. King didn't mention about the fact that whenever you activate the skill and the skill ends, Magellan all the drones will be retreated. No, actually not retreated. Will be retrieved different. Because retreated you can't redeploy again. But when you retrieve you can redeploy again. I guess that's a different term. But yeah. That's the another okay. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why she's known as the Queen of Soul. Because how do I say, every time the skill ends, you can retrieve them, so you actually can redeploy them in like different locations. The drones are not fixed and do not have like a fixed position where once they're there they cannot go anywhere. They constantly redeploy them in multiple different positions, like how you would do for like other operators, I guess. So because of that, depending on like the different waves, stuff like that, yeah, maybe like when the enemies are weaker, you put them in front, so you can kill them faster. But then when there's like harder enemies, maybe speed up stuff like that. I don't know. I don't use Magellan. I can't tell you what is it. But from what I've heard, the fact that their retrieve is actually what makes her very good. What makes her skill. What makes her very good. So yeah. So the drones can only be deployed on range tiles. Actually, I mentioned about that. The skill 2 can only be deployed on melee tiles, and skill 3 can only be deployed on range tiles, whereas skill 1 can be deployed on both. So yeah, that's something else you may want to take note of, I guess, if you guys are talking about it. But yeah. So the drones can only be deployed on range tiles, and the attacks they do are considered as physical splash damage. Which so pretty much, well, what I've heard, if you want to like a dumbed down version of how to use her drones as skill 3, treat them as AoE sniper with reduced range. Well, plus this is what more or less they are. They have similar attacks interval as well as similar attack. So yeah. And then when the skill is active, the drones gains double the attack at rank 7 and actually more at M3. They gain increased attack while also having increased splash area. Which is actually very good as well from what I've seen. After all, I say a lot of people has used her skill tree to solo multiple stages. Ah, it's very nice. I'm just cracking my neck. My neck has been very stiff recently for some reason. Not too sure why, but yeah. That's about all I really have to say to that. Yeah, I don't own, I haven't really used Magallan much at all after all, so yeah. Um, yeah, she does have a module. I'm gonna talk about it. Her first summon deploy will not use deployment slots. And then, ooh, okay, interesting. Oh, that's nice actually. Uh, uh, I guess it is nice, but uh, I don't really see how it will benefit her for solo. Because at the end of the day, she's still hard capped at max 3 zones. Yeah, for the solo, which is what she's more known for, to solo stages. So, okay, I don't really see a use for it. But I mean, if you're using a full squad, I guess it's actually very nice. Kind of like how do I say? What's the name? Wait, what's the name? Beanstalk. Yeah, that's the name. Beanstalk. Yeah, it's kind of like Beanstalk, where you have a free summon, I guess. Yeah, I'm not really sure how good the module is, to be alright honest. But I guess that's something to think of, I guess, if using it on your team. Yeah, I guess more or less that's all for Magellan, I guess. I can't really say much except I've rarely used her at all. Even though I do plan to build up soon enough, but yeah. Texas now, there's what let me check out that though. I think it looks very nice. Yeah, actually looks very nice though. Talk about Texas now. Texas, from what I've known, she's actually right now you can get a free copy of her in the pinball missions. So she's not gonna be a high priority to get. So you're probably gonna get a free copy of her. But I guess if you want pots of her, you can go ahead pull, I guess. Which for it, but I mean pots are always good for on Vanguard, and actually especially for her it will be very good. I'll talk about it now. Her talent gives you 2 additional DP whenever you on the start of the battle. So say for example, this is gonna be true for most maps. You start the map, you will get 10 DP. But if you have Texas in your squad, you start the map with 12 instead. It's actually very good for her. Texas costs 13, but if you get the port one, you get her to just the port one, she'll cost 12. So immediately when you start the game, you can already deploy Texas. So yeah, that's what her talent does. I've seen people compare it to like how do I say Zima's talent. I'm talking about how I say it. Words which just sometimes struggle to come out of my mouth. No words. Proper words struggle to come out of my mouth sometimes. Okay, yeah. Zima reduced the deployment cost of all Vanguard operators by 1. That is the very big difference between Zima and Texas. Texas is more of a general, also you can use the extra DP to deploy someone else, maybe like Scouter, I guess, to get her skill to charge up faster if you want to. You can do that, but yeah, that's kind of the difference between them. I guess if you want to put it bluntly. But yeah, generally Zima is good if you're using like a lot of Vanguards, like how I say. I get don't. I would say maybe you're using a lot of Vanguards, like I don't know. I really don't know why I don't know where I'm going with it, but yeah, Zima only targets Vanguard, whereas Texas targets everything, I guess. So you just give it DP outright. I mean, Zima is good if you're using a lot of Vanguard operators, from what I've known. Because from what I know, there was certain maps. I'm not exactly sure which one, but I don't know. Was it just a challenge my friend did? I don't know. But my friend used Zima as like a pseudo Vanguard, pseudo guard, not Vanguard, a pseudo guard, because actually is quite strong with a skill active. But I'll not talk about that now, I guess. But yeah, very useful talent. Again, let's talk about it. But yeah, skill 1. It's basically like the basic one. You gain a huge sum of DP after a certain period of time. Good, but generally you are using a skill 2, I guess. But yeah, skill 2, yeah, you immediately gain a fixed amount of DP, and when she activated, while also doing us damage to all adversaries. I did not realize there was 2 instances of damage at all. I always thought just 1. Okay, just 2, I guess. Nice, that's nice, I guess. But okay, sure. While also stunning them for 2 seconds. Yep, I'll talk about it. M1 is 3, it increases by 1 second. Him and all my friends. Yeah, my friends have been hemming and hawing for me to E2 my Texas. E2 your Texas to M1 her skill 2. E2 your Texas to M1 your skill 2. Yeah, that's the reason why, I guess. That's the reason. The increased stun second is actually can actually make or break a lot. Can actually not make or break. Can actually be very useful. But yeah, in general it shouldn't come up. But yeah, the extra second can actually be very useful in specific situations. But yeah, I'll talk about why I like Texas as a Vanguard a lot. There's a lot of Vanguards from what I've known fall off in the late game. I'd say will fall off in the late game, which is somewhat true to Texas as well. Because in the late game, like you're usually doing a lot like high stat enemies at the time, like maybe the boss themselves stuff like that. Because most of the time Vanguards they fall off by then. Because Vanguards generally have lower stats than like other operators like guards and stuff like that, which is fair to be honest, since the whole purpose of Vanguards is to generate DP for you to actually deploy your stronger operators. So it's not a bad thing. It's actually balanced in terms of game design. But also what I like about Texas is the fact that she doesn't fall off as hard as other Vanguards in the late game. So in the early game, you'll be using her for crowd control. It's the fact that she does us damage within this range, so I'm not having a hard enemy cap at all. I like most skills that this wipe. Yeah. So besides that, she can crowd control, which I'm pretty sure is one of her tags, right? Yeah. Like I said, she can crowd control in the early game to handle like the waves of weaker mobs, and in the late game, she can stun the boss. Yeah, you can use her to stun the boss. If the boss are stunnable, I guess. A lot of bosses are not, but you get the idea, I guess. Because of that, she doesn't fall off as hard as other operators do in the late game. As the fact that you can still use her for like stunning purposes. Which isn't that good, I guess, per se. Because of how long the downtime is, 40 seconds. You charge it back up, but it's generally good enough to it's at least still a utility you can use her for in the late game. Whereas Vanguards will usually just be you'll retreat them already by then. Yeah, so that is a utility for Texas, I guess. Moving on to Asbestos, I guess, right now. Asbestos is our Arts Defender, or what I call it, but it's called Arts Iron Guard apparently, the official one, but I'll call it Arts Defender, like our OS. Same as Derner. The only difference is that Derner is free in the credit store, I believe. I think it's free in the credit store. Whereas Asbestos you need to pull for, I guess. I guess I'll talk about like, the reason why you use Asbestos for. Arts resistance, basically that's it. But now he's actually the defender with the highest amount of arts resistance. The fact that talent give her 10 on top of the 15 that she already has. So yeah, 25% of arts damage that she receives will be nullified. And can be even more, and will be even more if buffed by Nightingale, I guess, but that's all operators, but yeah. And whenever she's attacked, she gains attacked by arts damage, or arts normal attack apparently, because we the normal attacks her. She recovers 3 SP to herself, which is good for charging out a skill. And yeah. So that's what I know. This is the only reason why you use her for. It's for arts resistance. It's one of the best arts defender. Yeah, arts defender. I gotta go with that too. So for that, skill 1. It's manually triggered. So when you trigger it for the next 20 seconds, she will when she receive the next instance of art damage, she will block it and reduce it to 0, and also reducing all other damage from arts that she takes by 20%, and even more, at 30% at max mastery, which I guess is good if one person specifically using her just for like the arts tanking. Okay, what enemies, what boss do arts damage even? Frost Nova, I guess, but you're not worried about Frost Nova's freezing the tower stuff and all. Let's see. Foul stuff physical. Patriot, I don't know. I haven't fought her. I haven't fought him yet. I'm on chapter 7 right now. His chapter. I haven't bothered clearing it. Margot does physical. I actually don't know. Actually, don't think there's so much bosses that does damage actually, but yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, it's good for like if you're really just using her for solely for the arts damage with arts defending, the arts tanking. If you're using her just for that, a skill is actually very good. But a skill 2 provides helps her expand her role more. Say, because generally she's able to survive most attacks already just by that. Also for high health and high arch resistance. So generally she's already good enough tanking without it. But I guess if yours is not E2, it can be useful. It's actually it would actually be necessary to tank certain hits, I guess, that she others would be able to at E2. So I guess you'll generally be using the skill up to E1. At least that's what I've heard from my friends. The the difference in art resistance really can make a very big difference. Can make a very big difference. So yeah, to survive certain hits. But yeah, but generally you'll be using her skill 2 more than not because it helps expand her role. Actually helping her do damage as well. Let me see. Yeah. So she'll attack enemies within this range. While attaching to splash attacks. I can't really yeah. I can't really say much about her. I haven't used her at all, to be honest. I have her. I have gotten her at some point of time, to be honest. She's currently at E0 though, like I said, I haven't bothered building up at all. Since Donna is more or less has been more or less good enough for me. And if I want arts resistance, I've more or less just been using healing defenders. Yeah, 10 up resistance is more or less good enough to be honest in most cases scenario. So yeah, that's something I guess. But yeah, but what I know she is very strong. Just how do I say? Generally, you won't be needing her because if you want damage, why not use a guard? To be blunt. I mean, the attack power is actually very high for a defender. I think it's her attack speed. 1.6 will also being further increased. That's kind of the biggest issue people have with her. How slow her attack speed is. Although to be honest, if you want damage, why not just use a guard? But yeah, I guess if you want arts damage, it's actually very useful because from what I know, not a lot of melee operators can do range arts attack. I mean, exceptions are like Arene, Ayaska, Sutter, I guess. But yeah, not a lot of operators can do not a lot of melee operators can do arts damage at a range. So if you want that specifically for that, Asbestos will do it. Asbestos will do the job well enough because she does have fight attack. So basically, she's kind of like how to say, AOE caster, I guess. You wanna treat it like that? You can kind of treat it like that. Whenever skill active, he becomes an AOE caster. Yeah, I guess he's not that far from the truth. She's the range. He's just only missing the 2 tiles beside her, but yeah, I guess that's what I've heard. Like my friends compare her to. With a skill 2 active, she becomes an AOE caster that is deployed on the melee tiles instead of the range tiles. as I said, she's not bad by any means. She's actually very good, especially on maps where range tiles are going to be limited. But yeah, just niche. It's pretty much all of them so far, except for Texas, I guess. Yeah, very niche. Iris. I don't know her. Neither do most of my friends, to be honest. Yeah, so I can't really say much about her, I guess. So most of what I'm saying is based on what other content creators got mentioned about her. Yeah, store attack, yeah, which is the thing unique to archetype. Yeah, she can charge when she's not attacking. She can actually store whenever she will attack. If there's no enemies within range, she will instead store the energy out. So yeah, does it tell you like the modifier? No, she doesn't tell the modifier. So the store attacks energy will do more damage due to a talent. She's good. Yeah, that's all I can say, I guess. I don't haven't used her like pretty much at all, so I can't really say much at all. But yeah, okay. Skill one. They changed the attack range from where is it? Oh, below. Okay, from this to this. Just straight line Ifrit down. I think there's one less than Ifrit, but yeah, basically Ifrit down. Change it. Okay. Change it to Ifrit down. But she has greatly reduced attack interval, but attacks only deal 40% art damage. Why? I mean, yeah. From what I've heard from other creators, they don't use her skill one for like damage at all. They use it to charge up her skill. To charge up her attacks. Because of how limited the range becomes after you use the skill, most of the time enemies will not be. You can make sure the enemies are not within her range, so that she can actually charge up the charge attacks. For that, I guess that's what I've heard from creators. Not too sure, like I said, I don't know her, so I can tell you what I've heard from other creators. I mean, that's also how my friend used the skill one for. I mean, I have a friend with EZO Iris, I guess. Because of how I say underwhelming she felt in EZO, he did not bother E1ing or even E2ing her. I guess that's something I can't really say much about friends. I feel like it's a sad way to go, but I can't do much, I guess. My friend can enjoy the game however he wants to. And skill 2. Immediately inflicts slumber, a creature just sleep, to be honest. Yeah, just sleep to just two enemies. The two enemies within the attack range for 7 seconds. And when they attack up, they will do ice damage to all enemies within a certain radius of them, I guess. Fine, I guess, to be honest, but how do I say? It's very niche, I guess, to be honest. Because from what I've known, most bosses are like immune to stun, silence, all the stuff like that. But I don't really know of one that's actually immune to slumber. So if you want to like stop them from attacking and stuff like to delay time for your operators, this is actually quite a decent skill. The only thing I can talk about is probably like how do I say, the long downtime, to be honest. 24 seconds or 7 seconds. I mean the last time people themselves is also very good. So I guess it at least does give you some reason to use it against mobs, I guess. And it is quite a decent crowd control, I guess, but you will need to time it, like W's skill tree. You need to time the activation, stuff like that, so that when the burst damage does pop off, there are enemies within range. Right, so yeah, I guess it's not bad per se. I can see the niche, but it's generally not that strong either, to be honest. It's kind of sad, to be honest. I'm honestly kind of interested in the archetype. I always when I started up like 2 years ago, I always mention not 2 years, but like 1.5 years ago, I always mention like it's kind of a waste. Yeah? Whenever I'm waiting for like the next wave, these my operators cannot do anything. They're kind of less wasted there. Especially since back then I was very reluctant to activate skills. So most of the time they only had the skill charge up. So just kind of like standing there waiting for the next wave to spawn. Oh yeah, we really wish they had something. They could do something that this. I use the charge casters were kind of like a kind of answer to that, I guess, to say. That's what I felt. But yeah, decent, I guess. But I guess not high priority to get. So yeah, I guess more or less. Yeah, but yeah, yeah. So from what I've heard, a lot of times people don't actually use her for her skills. They use her for just her base damage. Yeah, again, it's kind of balanced, but yeah, her base damage. So actually, skill 1 from what I know is actually more used than the skill 2. At least based on that one friend that actually does have her. Use that skill 1 to charge up her all she charges. Then the big burst of damage. How high her attack power is, as well as the fact that talent even further boosts the charge attacks damage. So yeah, I guess it's fun that way, but it's not really practical. It's practically you want more consistent uptime damage, which Iris doesn't really do all that well, I guess, to be honest. I guess the only reason why you want to really push the user is waifu reasons, but she does look very stunning, to be honest. I believe there is one where he sings, I'm not too sure. Can I find it? Is it this one?
愛くるしいお人形、可憐な花。
I found this one. Which is the one that she sings? This one.
日よ明かりよ導いてよ、小さなお茶会においでよ。森人が歌って踊って、ハサミを持ってカチャカチャ。この歌は私のお仲間たちを歌ったものですわ。彼らは私と一緒に子供たちのおもてなしをしてくれますの。歌詞は覚えたかしら？もう一度は歌ってあげませんわよ。
Yeah, actually, I really like the voice lines, to be honest. Just a singing. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the reason why you meant to want to use her for waifu reasons. But she's actually very fun. Based on the limited experience I have with her using for friend support, as well as for my fantasy. She is very fun. Just even at E0, what for him. Because even at E0, she already has a very considerable amount of attack. So yeah, even just at E0, she's actually quite fun. So quite fun for my friend. So yeah, I guess so. But she's not very practical per se. I guess I'll go back and go and do my summary now. I guess. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Right. I'll just talk about it right now. I guess. All right. Angelina. Depending on what you say, Angelina. Skill 1 is for AFK strat more or less. Skill 2 for perma slowing a single target or just us damage itself. Because the reduced attack interval actually does help out a lot in her doing us damage. And then skill 3. Actually, just realized I never talk about the reduced gravity. I never talk about it. Screw it. I guess I'll just not talk about it. Oh, it's been 1 hour as well. Don't think I'm gonna be watching this video then. How is it longer than my other video? I don't have any experience with them at all. Well, whatever. Skill 3. Multi-target attack. Multi-target slow, I guess. That's about it. Magallan, skill 1. AoE slow for skill 1. AoE slow and then bind. So basically just crowd controlling. Skill 2. Burst us damage, I guess, basically. High us damage. Limited by range, though. Skill 3. Bread and butter. Drones become, like I say, cheaper AoE snipers, I guess. The drones become like pseudo AoE snipers, I guess. Let's see. Texas. Skill 2. Skill 1, I guess is fine. Skill 1 is just the common basic Vanguard skill. Skill 2 is the bread and butter. It's very good for card controlling, and then also for stunning bosses in the late game, if you want to use her for that. Asbestos. Skill 1 to make her an absolute arts tank. Skill 2 to make her into a pseudo AoE caster that's deployed on the melee town. By no means bad, I guess. Fairness, yep. And then what else? Iris. Skill 1 mainly used to charge her skill, but can be really used to charge up her charge attacks. But can be very good in terms of if you want burst damage. But it can be very good to burst out a single enemy that's right in front of her because of the limited range, or unless they're walking directly to her. But yeah, mainly used to charge her charge attacks. Skill 2. Skill 2. More for crowd control reasons. Both for the sleeping of two enemies, as well as the fact that when the enemy wake up, you do a burst arts damage around the enemy. So yeah, I think that's more or less it, I guess. So yep, this has been Dogcesy, and this has been my opinions about the current standard banner operators. I will make one about the Dogcesy since I'm Dogcesy one soon. Probably tomorrow. It's already quite late. I'll sleep already. Especially the outdoors is the event. The anniversary is pretty much confirmed already with this. So yeah, actually not sure. I've ever talked about this at the start. I don't think I did, but yeah, guys, just a reminder, I guess. Go do the anniversary stuff. Go touch on the anniversary stuff as well. Just a reminder, I guess. And yeah, that's about it, I guess. We'll do the Dodgers tomorrow, I guess. Yeah. Alright. Bye bye.